All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. This recap is not going to be the traditional recap. This is going to be a recap where I rant and blow off some steam and then motivate myself for the next day. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had, in my opinion, the strongest stock of the month and a top 5, top 10 stock of the year without a doubt. Let's zoom out here to give this thing some context in this incredible move that we had, which was over 700% at one point. Now today started off a little on the slower side. Not a lot was moving on the scans, but we did have a few stocks in POL and I believe AUVI, PRZO, a few other watch list stocks, right? TCON. Things started off a little slow, and I left out early. I left out around 10:50, 11 a.m. And I ended up going online and I saw a video that said, you know, the person who's going to win is going to be the person who stays focused, who keeps paying attention, despite there seeming, to be like nothing is going on, right? Despite there being nothing moving, things are slow, you still have to pay attention. And this was just perfect timing because I saw this video. I'm like, you know what, man? Let me go back and see. Let me just go back and see if anything's looking decent. And I saw this thing, I believe, right around this area here at $3. And so I came fairly early to this incredible move that we're going to have here. I came right here, right there in that area. And so, you know, I'm watching. Initially, I believe I tried to take some dips here, fair trades going up, and the stock started to push. And right here for the break over for, I believe it was this area, I had a mistake that I made. And so if I come to my other screen up above, I usually will have different order entry windows here depending on the share size I want to use. Usually there's two. I have three up here right now, but usually there's two, right? I had the middle and the right hand side here. And so sometimes I'll Thinkorswim, the hotkeys aren't really great. And I think that this is a great way to counter for that here on Thinkorswim. So I had 1K shares in my main monitor. The other one I had 2,500. And along the way, I somehow changed the stock here to PRZO. I can't remember why I did it, but I did. And so, this move is happening, and I'm like, okay, time to go for big size. And I go over here, I hit buy, two great trades. Turns out I'm trading the wrong stock. And I don't know why. I don't know why, but this got me off centered. I was tilted from that moment. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I saw the video and the video said, you need to be paying attention, you should be here. So I was kind of already blaming myself for not being fully immersed, fully focused. And on top of that, it's like, okay, I did come back to try to, it's like, let's say it's like a sign, right? It's like, man, I came back and I still, some way, somehow, I still happened to miss the move. And I got so frustrated, man. This is the, despite going back to maybe like 6 months ago, because VVOS, when that one went to 40, we were being aggressive. We were just happened to get caught in a lot of areas. We ended up being red first, and we had to take it very easy throughout the rest of the day to get back green. It's like, it's this thing, and that's also an issue in itself where, I essentially start to say, why me, right? Why right here? Why right now? Why is this happening? But that's me overthinking. That's me going a little too far because ultimately all it was a small mistake. Was it poor timing for this type of mistake? Yes. But that frustrated me. And so, other areas, the pop-up screen popping up, um, and getting caught into flushes that are normal trades that I take, frustrating me more so than they ever would under any normal circumstance. To the point where, someone in the Discord was asking, "Hey, Relentless, can you go live and just and show us how you're doing? Can you trade this thing for the audience like I normally would?" And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna go live today. It's just the frustration of me seeing this stock and just poorly managing my emotions. If I'm centered, and we're like normal business, it's a great day, right? And so at my highs, I was up $2,000. Despite all the I traded this thing so poorly. I missed 90% of the big moves. I missed 90% of the big moves. And right here, I went from green 800 in this push, got caught in this red candle here, and then went to flat, right? And so it's worth mentioning, right? We were green 600, then flat, green 800, then flat here. It pushed back up so quickly. At the time, I thought it was finished. And this is the only fair place I think that I missed. I thought it was done here. So I didn't look to take a trade. I looked back 30 seconds later, this thing is back up. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? So, you know, coming over here, making 2 grand, and then losing it all back. I mean, it was a ridiculous kind of day, man. But for anybody who stayed focused, who continued to trade to the best of your ability, for sure this is a tremendous day. So, take the lesson, right? Take the lesson from me, which is to, in the moment when we get frustrated, it doesn't matter why, whether it's you missing a big trade for clicking the wrong order entry or wrong stock, your power goes out. I mean, whatever it might be, right? You maybe gave back your profits and that's why you're upset. Whatever it is, because for me, it takes a lot for me to really get upset, right? But some days there's a collection of things that happens that kind of like builds up this meter. It's to the point where I have to rage quit. The stock was not finished, and right here, I had no choice but to walk away. I'm basically back to flat again. I'm like, I need to walk away from this thing right in this area here. I need to not even watch it my screen anymore. Is how bad it is. Which, on a hot day, when things are going well, even if I think I need to stop, I'm still watching for the sake of watching and gaining knowledge, watching the price action. So this type of stuff is rough. The FOMO, the frustration, missing trades, complaining about it, and then other trades coming and missing those trades, and then becoming more frustrated about it, and then sizing up and getting caught in flushes. Disaster. It was a disaster. It was a disaster here. It's a complete disaster. So initially I had no plans to make a recap because the day was slow, but once this thing came along, it's like we have to do something. So we're up $600, but $600 is like a scratch trade for this type of stock, this type of move. The halt resumption comes, and one thing I forgot to do was to record my screen, and that in itself is a whole nother problem. But just wow, man. Shout out to the other mentors in Marcelo and Tim. I didn't see how well Tim did, but I think he did well, right? Uh, for holding it down today, right? We have some of the other people who are out on vacation, but this is why we trade. Like, this is the type of stock that we want. If we can see this every day, I mean, you know, it'd be something else. But this is incredible, man. I think top 5 stock of the year. I mean, wow. Like, at one point, I just couldn't believe how much it was moving. Like, in this area here, like there was no such thing as this being extended, like it just kept going, and it's what we love to trade, but you have to be focused, you have to be locked in, you got to be dialed in. I do wish it would have came earlier in the day. You know, on the side of the market, you know, these trades will happen whenever, after hours, power hour, early, later. But I would have loved for it to start doing the live stream where I was like at my prime peak focus. But you know, it came a little later. So no matter the time of day it comes, you got to be ready. So in this recap, we didn't go over any sort of technicals. We have a million recaps where we've done that before. This is just a ranting recap. You know, even when you're good, it can happen to you. So, you know, we have to be prolific, right? We have to be our best selves always. This is for the motivation, right? This is for to pick us up here towards the end of the video. We have to be our best selves. And we say it a lot, but you know, it's what's required, and we can't take that for granted, right? We have to really show up here every day, whatever outside issues you might be having. You know, you could have had a bad day at the office, maybe a tough day inside the house. You know, there could have been any series of things, right? Maybe you got into a fender bender, like, you know, the traffic was terrible. It doesn't matter what million and one different things it could be. But once you show up here in the market, in front of your trading station, and you come into the sanctuary, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared for anything, and you have to do whatever is necessary to ensure success and be the best manager that you can be as you go throughout the day to manage risk. It's so crazy to know that, you know, it really comes down to it's a fine line, and the percentage difference for what it takes to be, you know, green $600 versus green $6,000 or 12,000 or 18,000 is a very, very small difference. It's the slightest subtlety, the slightest difference, you know, and that result that you're looking for is right there smiling at you. You know, for me, which for sure here could have been another 9K day. You know, instead we're up $600. So there's work to be done, as always, and we have to look forward to the opportunity. We have to look forward to being better. There's no wall too tall. There's no mountain too high. Let's do what needs to be done to ensure success. POL, what a move. What a move. Polished indeed. Polished ink. Polished move indeed. So I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning for another beautiful day in the markets.